Hey guys, thanks for checking in today. We're gonna do a quick round with our feet, then move down to the mat and do some rotation and some seated sequences from there. So let's just raise up onto the balls of the feet and come back down. So nothing new here. Work through your ankles. Try to get as big of a range of motion as you can. And let's take the feet down, lift the toes up, spread them out, tap and lift the big toes. So core are engaged, stand tall. Press the big toes down. Stretch the other ones out, lift them all up, take them down, squeeze the floor. Then release and lift, let's squeeze again. Work into the arches as usual. Also those muscles between the toes, underneath the toes. Yes, we have muscles there too. Okay, all toes up, stretch them out, tap and lift the little toes. And then press those down. Lift them all up, take them all down, stretch the floor. Release. Okay, roll to the ball of one foot, lower and lift. We're gonna continue to work our feet when we're seated too, so we haven't seen the last of this yet. Okay, bring it down and switch. Standing tall, anchor your standing leg. And then back down. Okay, work your way down to your mat, however that works for you. This is what it looks like for me. It's not so graceful. I'm gonna move back, so hopefully you can see my feet on camera. All right, we're gonna sit up nice and tall, extend the legs out, roll the shoulders a couple times, just loosen up, and then let them come down. So I'm just gonna place my hands lightly on the floor. If hip flexors are tight and hammies are tight, we may have a tendency to do this. Just kind of sit up as tall as you can. If you need to get a little bend in the knees, that's all right too. But try to lift. And then we're just gonna point and flex both ankles. And still, like when we're standing, just trying to get as much movement as we can, as big of a range of motion as we can. Now let's alternate. One points and one flexes. When you flex, pull the top of the foot toward you. And that will stretch into the Achilles and into the calf muscles in the back. Just continue alternating. Now we're gonna bring our feet to the center. I want you to scrunch up your toes. So we're stretching into the top part of the foot and then release and spread. And then squeeze and release. And one more squeeze and release. And now we're gonna circle. It doesn't matter which direction you go because we're gonna reverse in a second, but just, again, getting some movement in there. Sitting up tall if you can, and then let's reverse. Bring it around. And then back to center, wiggle the toes. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot forward a little bit. I don't think you need to see my feet for this one. Maybe you can still see them. So I'm gonna find that long spine again, sitting as tall as I can. And then I'm gonna bend my right knee and bring it in. So hands against the shin, and now I'm gonna use my arms to lift up a little bit taller. So I've got some flexion in the hip, getting some length in my spine, and then I'm gonna rotate to the right. I'm using my right hand in the back like a little kickstand and twisting my spine. So I'm trying not to lean. Anchor both of your hips and twist. Try to keep your shoulders right over the hips. Turn your head as far as it can go. And then we're gonna untwist and come back to center and do it again. So I'm leaving my arm back behind me. Just get some length in the spine and then rotate, and then to the front, and then one more time. And then come back to the center. Now we're gonna make a little switch. We're gonna take that foot and cross it over. So this is gonna open up the hip a little bit more. And now take your opposite arm, your left arm, reach it around. So my knee is gonna be in the bend of my elbow. I'm lifting up tall, and then I'm gonna twist again. So hopefully you're feeling this in the right hip a little bit more, but still focusing on that rotation. So you're lifting up tall, look back over your shoulder. Untwist, and let's go two more. Lift first, then twist. And back, and one more time. Take your head as far as you can go. And then come back to center. We're gonna uncross. Now from here, we're just gonna round forward. So wherever that is for you, don't force it and try not to bounce. Just trying to lengthen our spine. You might feel a difference from one hip to the other. Hopefully the right is a little more released than the left. And then we're gonna roll our spines back up, sit up tall, and then roll the shoulders. Okay, so now we're gonna bend the left, lift up tall, and twist. So again, my left hand is back behind me. on the floor, twisting my spine, turning and looking with my head and my face. And then untwist, come back to center. And go again, lift up tall first, trying to keep both of your hips anchored. Back, one more like that. Twisting, getting tall. Center. Okay, now we cross the left over the right. And I'm gonna reach with my arm, get my knee at the bend of my elbow. If that doesn't work for you, just go where it works. And then lift up and twist. Feeling a little bit more stretch into the left hip. Then untwist and go again. Don't lose the length in your spine. Keeping the hips anchored. And then one more. And back to center. And then we're gonna straighten both legs out again and round down. Just hold that stretch for a second. Big breath in, fill up your back. And then as you exhale, you'll let go of wherever your hands are holding and roll yourself up to sitting up tall. All right, we're gonna swing around and go into a child's pose sequence. So just kind of get your knees underneath you and move so your feet are at the back edge of your mat. And we're just gonna let our hips come down to the heels and our chests come down to the legs. Take a big breath in, filling up your back. As you exhale, the belly lifts. Let's go one more big inhale. And on the exhale, the belly lifts, round your back, and roll up to a tall kneeling position and roll your shoulders. All right, we're gonna use the red ball for this next sequence. If you don't have one, just go ahead and go through the arm movements. I'm trying to stay toward the back edge of my mat, and then I'm lengthening here in the center. So if this bothers your knees, you can experiment with foot position. You can take them a little wider. That takes some of the pressure off the kneecap, or you can bring them together. See what works best for you. So find that spot. My knees are about hip distance apart, and I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm engaging glutes. So take the ball and extend your arms out front, and then hinge your body back. So we're not moving here. We're changing the angle of the bend in our knees. Press the thighs forward. Press your hips forward. Get that thigh stretch. And then bring your body back to the center. We're going to do it again. So see what feels like a challenge, but also that you're not straining the knees, that you're not straining your back. You're finding a range that's going to work for you. So when I'm back here, I think of really pressing my thighs forward and then bring the body to follow. Arms stay extended, but shoulders are relaxed. We're going to go back and hold. Okay, so find a spot where you can stay for a little bit. Glutes are squeezing. Get really, really long. And then let's lower the ball to chest height and bring bodies forward. We're gonna do 2 more like that. So you find a range with your arms that doesn't strain your shoulders or neck, and you're still challenging your core and stretching your thighs. Okay, back we go one more time. Reach back, hips press forward, thighs get long, reach that ball back, and then let's go to chest height. Bring it forward and down. All right, we're gonna continue with a kneeling sequence, continue using the ball. So I'm coming to the front so you can see what I'm doing. We're gonna leave our right knee on the mat and then extend the left leg out. If your foot comes off your mat, that's okay. Just make sure you've got, that it's in a position where it doesn't slide. And then your knee and your foot are gonna be pointing forward. Okay, so I've got the ball in my right hand, I'm putting it against my right leg. And then I'm engaging my core, lengthening the spine. Raise the left arm up towards your ear. And then we're gonna lean. And as I lean, the ball rolls down my leg, and I find this nice long line from my fingers down through my arm, underarm, and then out through my foot. And then I'm just gonna hold here for a second. Now I'm gonna hold the ball and rotate. I hope I don't hit any of my equipment, we'll see. And then raise, just cleared it. Raise it up and let it come back down. The main focus here is this length on the left side. And again, you can do it without a ball, of course. We're gonna go one more. Raise it up and hold. Both hands on the ball, lift really tall. Switch the ball to your opposite hand, and then we're gonna side bend over and get a stretch for that right side. And then bring it back and bring the leg in. Okay, other side. So left leg stays down, right leg comes out, knee and foot point forward, and the ball's in the left hand. Core is engaged. Okay, first, raise the arm up towards your ear. Then we lean, and we get that long angle. Keep your foot anchored, shoulder is down, get your core engaged. Now we hold the ball. Rotate so the palm is away, and then we come up, 5. Nothing else changes except for that moving arm. Good job, stay long on the right. Keep your right foot anchored. And one more. Bring it up, both hands hold the ball. Lift up tall, come to center. Switch the ball to the opposite hand and side bend over to that long extended leg. Great. And then calm center and bring it in. Okay, we're gonna get rid of the ball for a second. We'll see it a little bit later. So sit back on your right hip, let the right leg bend, and we're gonna place our left foot flat on the mat. And then we're gonna keep our right arm straight on the mat. Okay, so my hand is not directly under my shoulder. Place it away a little bit. Spread out your fingers and thumbs. And then let your left arm turn palm up and just rest it on that left knee. Okay, so this is your setup. This right knee is gonna stay down on the mat. We're gonna lift the right hip. So we press into our feet. We lift the hips up and we side bend. Push, push, push your hand down into the mat, your right leg into the mat, and push your rib cage to the ceiling. And then come back down. And we're gonna do that just once more. So we're doing a nice side bend, trying not to sink down into that right shoulder. Push up and away. And then lift and bring it back down. And then we're gonna switch. So just swing it around. So your left hip is down, left leg on the floor, right foot on the floor. Turn so your right palm is up. Set your hand away from your shoulder a little bit. Raise the arm, come up on the left knee and bend. Push into the mat with your hand, with your left leg. Push your rib cage up to the ceiling and come back down. Good, and then we'll do one more. This is our side bend. Getting that big stretch. And then bring it back down. Okay, now we're gonna swing around. I want you to get the ball and put it at your thighs and place your feet flat on the mat, about hip distance apart or knee distance. So if you give the ball a squeeze, obviously the knees are closer together, so then you wanna line your feet up right where your knees are. Hands on the shins. Pull the belly in and roll it back a little, just till your arms are straight. Let the shoulders relax. See what this feels like. You know, can you make the hands light and hold yourself there from here, from the very middle of your body. I'm gonna think of rolling my hips under me a little bit more to get a little bit more of my back reaching down toward the mat. And then from here, I'm gonna raise my arms toward my ears, kind of like we did with the kneeling thigh stretch sequence, and then lower them. Let's go again. So we're keeping the curves in our spines and just adding arm movement. Still squeeze the ball. Great, 2 more times. Don't change the position of your spine, so you're not getting any closer to the mat than where you are right now. Okay, belly in, and we're gonna roll forward and up. We're gonna go back to that spot again. Squeeze the ball, anchor your feet, roll back, let your shoulders come down. Okay, I'm gonna roll my hips under me, feeling my low back reach toward the mat. Now I'm just gonna do one arm. The right is gonna raise and lower and lift and lower. Good, go 3 more. Trying not to change the position of your body. Keeping your spine curved. And then let's switch. Left arm lifts and lowers. Great, and then bring it forward and up. Now I'm gonna take the ball and put it back behind my low back, kind of against my hips, and extend the legs straight out. Bring them together, shoulders down. All right, the arms come out front. roll the shoulders down, pull the belly in, roll back into your ball, but don't sink down into it. We want active muscle. So it's almost like you're trying not to rest on it. And the hips are rolled under. Now, I want you to start slowly taking your arms out to the sides. Keep them in your peripheral vision. So mine are definitely not going back behind my shoulders. Okay, so find that spot, let the shoulders come down, stay connected kind of at the underarms, and you're gonna do some little curls forward. So your back is not leaving the ball. Just little bends. One more. Curl and hold. Now bring your arms in. We're going to stack our arms like a genie. Shoulders come down. We're going to point our left foot, keep the right ankle flexed, and we're going to lift 10 times. Try not to let your hips tip. Lower the left, flex it, point the right, and lift for 10. Pull in from the lower abdominals. Squeeze your quads. 2 more. Both legs stay down. We're gonna come forward and lift. Roll right back into your ball. Okay, curl forward a tiny bit. We're gonna do a little rotation to the left. So my gaze is out past the front left corner of my mat. And I'm just holding here for a second. Now I'm gonna curl back a few inches and forward a few inches. I'm trying to keep both heels down, both hips anchored. But with this little twist, we've engaged our obliques. I forgot the word. Our obliques. So those muscles around the waist. Okay, curl forward and hold. Now come through center and rotate to the right. Now you may have felt yourself shift, reset, and then we do 10 little curls. Pull in from the lower abdominals, almost like you're pushing your hips into the ball to allow the chest to curl forward. Obliques. Got 3 more. Try not to lead with your neck and head. Curl forward, hold, come back to center. Now extend the arms forward, and we're gonna roll and come up nice and tall. Bring the arms down. Now scoot that ball back, kind of upper back, base of the shoulder blade, brow line area, and bend your knees, put your feet flat. Okay, abs are engaged. Imagine the rib cage pulling in toward the center. Anchor the feet, set them up about hip distance apart. Now stack your hands and put them back behind your head, supporting your head, and come back for a stretch. Picture your spine stretching up and over the ball to get a nice stretch in your back. Also to release the abdominals, right, in the front there, that long abdominal muscle in the front. All right, then the chin is gonna come toward the chest, and we're gonna do a little lift here. And let's go again. Get the stretch first. Make it kind of a big one. If it feels good to take your elbows out nice and wide, do that. Just know when you come back in, you really want those abs pulled in so you don't strain your back. And then the chin toward the chest a little bit, that leads, and then the chest leads up. Now we're gonna do that with that big stretch at the back one more time. Up and over the ball. And then abs in, and roll. And hold. Now extend your arms forward. Start to round till you're almost lifting off the ball. And then go back just an inch and forward. Maybe it's 2 inches. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Though. Try not to press into the ball. Almost like you're trying to lift off the ball, but you're just touching it enough for it to stay in one spot. Pull the belly in. You're rounding, trying to keep the shoulders down and down. Let's go 3 more. 3, try not to lead with your neck. Curl and hold. Okay, put your left hand behind your head. Rotate to the left and curl. 10, 9, it's little, 8, 1 more. Both arms out, come center. Right hand behind your head, curl to the right. 10 little curls. 9, this is harder than I thought it was gonna be. 7, 6, hang on. 5, a break is coming. 3, don't lose that low ab connection. 1 more. Hold it, arms forward. Start to roll into the ball a little bit. Take your hands, put them back behind your head, and then come back for a nice big stretch. Okay, open up the chest. Good stretch. And then start to curl forward again. Reach your arms long. Lift, and this time you're gonna come all the way up. Reach for the ball and put it away for now. All right, we're gonna do some roll-ups. I'm moving so I don't crash into my stuff. You guys can stay whichever direction you are facing. Go ahead, stay there. So extend your legs out. Take your hands and just put them back behind your legs. So mine are like midway between knees and thighs. And lift up tall, roll the shoulders. Now start to roll your hips back as if that ball is still in there. Feel your back and hips reaching down into the mat. And then you're gonna place your spine down. Let your arms come up to the ceiling and overhead, not all the way to the floor. So I want you to stay connected. Feel like you're still engaged with the muscles kind of underneath the shoulder blades. Okay, squeeze the legs together. Start to raise those arms back up, and then the arms plug into the shoulder socket. We start to lower, and then we lift the chest. Now press your body down into the mat, reach long, and then round forward. So the arms are gonna stay at shoulder height. We're bending our spines. Reach the back and hips behind you, and then restack the spine up. And then back down we go. If you need to put your hands on your legs again, that's fine. It's just about, finding that control and being able to lay your spine down one piece at a time. So let the hips roll under you. And then you come up and over, but not all the way to the floor. So here you feel the shoulder blades on the mat. Take it back just till you still feel the muscles engaged. I can feel my triceps here as the arms kind of hover. And then the arms go back to the ceiling, and then they start to lower. And then we bend. Press your body into the mat. Stretch your legs, squeeze them, and then we round over. Arms in line with the ears if we can, and then restack. Let's do 3 more. Go at your pace. Just feeling that movement piece by piece as your spine comes down. Again, stay connected up overhead. Reach into it. Squeeze the legs together. That does help. Stay connected, keeps those muscles active. Bending. Reach. And take it forward. Lift up tall. Here comes the last one. Roll it down. Arms up and over. And here we go. Raise. Lower them down. Keep them reaching. And stretch. Hold this spine stretch forward so the hips reach back, the belly pulls in. Start to raise your arms so they're in line with the ears if they aren't already. And we're gonna straighten our backs out on an angle so the chest presses forward. Find some work in the upper back. And then we sit up straight, keeping our arms reaching to the ceiling. We're gonna stack our hands and put them back behind our heads. Keep the legs nice and long and just add a side bend. Try not to let your opposite hip lift off the mat. And then pull back to center and then go the other way. And back to center. Take the arms forward and we're gonna roll ourselves all the way down. Let your hands come to the mat. Bend your knees, slide the feet in. And then place your feet so they're about hip distance apart. Arms along our sides. We're gonna go up into bridge, roll your pelvis, come up, equal weight, both feet and knees and feet, stretching forward. And then roll yourself back down. And come back to neutral. We're gonna go 2 more. Just cycle through your spine. And 1 more time. Okay, we're gonna hold here up top. Press into your right foot. Keep your hips right where they are and let your left leg extend out. Okay, so my thighs are staying parallel with each other, not lifting real high. And I'm gonna bend my left knee and tap my toe and then extend the leg back out. And tap I think I missed the floor that first time. We're gonna do 5 total. Don't let your hips drop. Try to keep your legs level. Okay, stretch the leg and then raise the left leg to the ceiling. Now cycle through your spine, lower down, raise up, lower down, and raise up. So we're putting our spines down bone by bone. There's 3. We're gonna do 2 more. See if you can hit that high spot each time with your hips and the leg is reaching. So now we stay up. We're gonna lower our leg, match it up with the right leg, then bend the knee, place the foot on the mat, and then roll down. And roll back up into bridge. Okay, find that spot again, press into the left leg. Keep your hips from dropping, lighten up the right foot, and just extend at the knee. Don't change where the thigh is, just reach. And then tap the right toe and extend. Keep your hips lifted. The next time we extend out, we hold. Now stretch that leg to the ceiling. Now we roll ourselves down. Picture placing your spine down piece by piece, and then reach right back up. Lead with that leg. Take it to the ceiling. Two more. So I felt my knee swinging out to the side, my left knee. So anchor your left big toe. So we go all the way up, we stay here. Start to lower the right leg so the thighs are parallel to each other. And then we bend, place your right foot on the mat, and then roll it down. Let's bring knees into our chest for a stretch. Reach for your shins, and then get a little side rock here. Back to center with our bodies, both feet to the mat, arms out wide. We're gonna let our knees come to the floor on the left and let our heads roll to the right, if that feels good for your neck. If it's not great for your neck, just stay centered. If your head is turned to the right, bring it center now, and then bring your knees through the middle and let them come to the floor on the right. And if your neck is okay, let your head roll up, roll left. And then back to center with your face, back to center with your knees. Okay, from here, take your hands, stack them and put them back behind your head. We're gonna extend the left leg out along the mat, bring your right knee into tabletop, and then stretch your right leg to the ceiling. So here comes a crisscross scissor set. Lift up your chest and come into flexion. Hover your left leg. We're gonna do a little rotation toward that extended right leg. And as we switch, we rotate to the left. 10 sets here. Both legs in center, body center. Okay, stay in flexion. We're gonna lower the left leg down. We're doing regular scissor, no crisscross. If you need to put your head and shoulders down, you can do that. 8, I think, 9, 10, both legs up. Bring your knees into your chest, reach for your shins, and take it down. Okay, roll your ankles and then go the other way. Why? Because I'm having a foot cramp. Okay, feet back to center. Now we're gonna tabletop our knees and we're gonna do it similar, 2 sets, but we're gonna do toe taps. So the first toe tap set is reciprocal and it's crisscross. So stack your hands, put them back behind your head, find neutral pelvis, and then lift your chest up. We're gonna let our right toe come down and lightly touch, and this time we're starting our rotation to the left. And then we go 10 sets, 10 and 9. One more. Back to tabletop, back to center. Stay in the center. Tap the right toe down, and here we go, 10, 9. Keep your flexion unless you want to take your head and shoulders all the way down to the mat. And 6. Keep breathing. 5. Tabletop, bring your knees in, reach for your shins, take it all the way down, and side rock. One more set here for abs. So we're gonna leave our knees in close to our chest. The arm movement is gonna look like this. We're gonna reach our arms back along our ears and pull in. We're gonna reach back and pull in. We're not trying to take our arms down to the floor. Our chests, we're gonna be up in flexion, and the leg movement is gonna look like this. We're gonna take the legs out and pull them in, and out and in. So we're gonna put it all together. Hands on the shins, lift your chest up into flexion. The arms and legs reach away from the body, and then they pull in, and reach away, pull in. Squeeze the legs together. Stay lifted. Got 2 more. Pull everything in and then take it down and side rock. Okay, coming back to center. We're gonna place both feet on the mat right now, for now. Stretch the left leg up. Take your right knee and bring it into tabletop, and then stretch it up to the ceiling. All right, stretch those hammies, engage the quads. If you want your arms right alongside you, that's great. If you want a little bit more stability for this, go wide. We're gonna do pendulum with the legs. So anchor your hips. We're trying not to move the hips. So the movement of your leg will be kind of small in order to keep the hips still. So we come across the body to the left and then to the right. And as I'm doing this, and if my hips are staying still, now I'm gonna start to focus on my rib cage, trying to press it down into the mat. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back to center, lower it down to the mat, and now I'm rolling onto my left side. So that leg I just worked, the right leg, is on top, and we're gonna do a side leg sequence. Rest your head however it feels comfortable. You can bend if you want. I always like to remind you guys that. I find when it's out like this, it's a little more of a balance challenge. So however you feel you wanna do it today. Bottom leg presses down. We're gonna point our top foot, lift, and then flex and lower. Now bring the leg all the way down. We're gonna point both feet. Stretch the legs and let them raise up together. So we sometimes have a tendency to let the legs drift forward. So I need to think of being in a long straight line. Let your bottom leg press the top leg up. Now our top leg is gonna stay, foot stays pointed, and we're gonna lift and lower. Don't lose the bottom leg. Keep it stretching. One more. Okay, legs are together, and now the bottom does the lower and lift. Both legs together and up. Now they're both gonna come down and hover, and then stretch to lift. Push the bottom leg up into the top leg. Keep them stretching. 6, abs are zipped up. 7. One more. All right, all the way down. We got one set of some rotation, so bend the knees in toward the chest a little bit. The feet are coming up and the knees are staying down. Now your top knee comes up, your feet form a V and your heels are together. Press the bottom leg down and then the top leg comes up. 2 more. Knee down, feet downward, rolling onto our bellies. Bring your forehead to the mat. Take your arms along your sides. Turn them so the palms are up. Let your shoulders relax. Make the back of your neck nice and long. And let your legs be heavy on the mat. Okay, so anchor the pubic bone, lift the belly button. Pull your fingers together and raise your arms. Let them hover off the mat, but feel your triceps squeezing, so the muscles in the back of the upper arm. And then we're gonna lift the chest up. So I'm looking just straight down onto my mat. I'm letting my arms reach long. They're trying to reach down toward my knees and toes. And then I'm gonna do little presses of my arms. It's like 100, but flipped over. It's not a big movement at the shoulders. And I'm squeezing my upper arms, the back of my upper arms, and keeping the chest open. Just little presses. Now I'm checking. Is my belly button lifting? Is my pubic bone staying anchored? And press 10, 9, 8, 7, 3, 2, 1, and come all the way down. Let's go one more time with that. So the fingers pull together, the arms hover, the pubic bone is anchored, belly lifts, chest lifts. Find your spot. Shoulders away, little presses. Squeeze your triceps. Press. Open the chest, widen the collarbones, press. Keep breathing, belly button lifted. 10, 9, 8, 7, 2, 1, and come down. Bend your arms, place your hands on the mat. Bring them in close to your body and let your elbows reach down towards your hips. Spread out your fingers and thumbs and lift your chest just a little bit, keeping the elbows down on the mat. Widen your collarbones again. So reach, reach, reach into the chest. Feel like your shoulder blades are sliding down toward the back waistband of your pants. And then we're gonna push into our hands. Continue to lead with the chest and come up. And then let your elbows come down and your rib cage and your forehead. We're gonna do that one more time. I can't see a thing with my hair here. Hopefully no one's looking at me. You guys should be looking at your mats. Okay, bellies lift. Spread out your fingers and thumbs. Lift the chest just a little bit, keeping the pubic bone anchored, keeping the belly button lifting. And then find that spot and continue to lead with your chest. Press into your hands. And then lower down. Elbows, rib cage, forehead. Pull your legs together, move your hands back. We're gonna go to child's pose for a stretch. And then we've got that whole other sequence with the left leg. Okay, shift your weight forward and then move to a seated position. Extend your legs, bend your legs, extend your arms out. We're gonna roll ourselves all the way down to the mat. Take it down. Arms at your sides, straighten out the legs. Leave your right leg where it is, left knee comes to tabletop, and then left leg stretches to the ceiling. So stretch hammies, engage quads. Again, arms can be close to your body or wider if you need a little more stability. So here's pendulum, where we keep the hips anchored. So the leg comes over to the right, through center, and then left. One more each way. Back to center. The leg comes down, and then we roll onto our right side. So that left leg is our working leg again. So find that spot where your balance is challenged, but that you're still stable. Stretch it out. Press your bottom leg into the mat. Point your top foot, that left foot, and lift, flex, and lower. All the way down, point both feet. Stretch your legs, let them hover up off the mat. Find your balance. Try not to let the legs drift forward or back. Press your bottom leg up into the top, and then the top is going to lift and lower. Stay real long through that leg. Don't drop the bottom leg. Mine was. Okay, both legs together. Lift a little higher now. Your bottom leg's your mover. Top leg stays lifted and reaching. Make it smooth. Shoulders relaxed. One more. Okay, both legs together at the top. They're going to slowly lower almost to the floor and then stretch to lift for 10. Try to keep them together. Press the bottom leg up into the top. Get 3 more. Okay, all the way down. Bend the knees in a little bit. Here's the rotation. So the knees stay down and the feet come up. Abs are engaged. Then the top knee comes up, heels together, feet make a little V, and then you rotate. Tap and open. See how much movement you can get on that hip. And knees down, feet down. We're going back onto our bellies. Okay, one more little set of some upper back extension. So we're going to start with our arms bent. Bring them in close to the sides. Bring your foreheads to the mat. Spread the fingers and thumbs way out. Stretch your legs, let them be heavy. Lift the belly, and then just lift the chest a little bit. So same thing. Shoulders are away from the ears. Continue to lift the chest. So tap into the muscles in the upper back, and then use your arms. Press up. A nice big stretch. And then take it back down. Elbows, ribs, forehead, and then here we go again. The belly lifts, the pubic bone stays anchored. We stretch, lengthen first, then press. And one more time. And back down. Foreheads to the mat. Legs together. Okay, here comes child's pose. Hips go way back. Let's get that nice big stretch. Let your hips settle down to the heels. Rest your forehead on the mat or stack your hands. Let the shoulders relax. Maybe the hips rock back forth a little. Loosen that up. And bodies back to center. Okay, we're going to work our way to a seated position. So shift your weight forward and then come around. So let's extend our legs out and take them about as wide as your mat. So we're going to do a little saw variation here. So sit up tall, flex your ankles so the tops of the feet pull toward you. We're going to extend our arms out front, drop the shoulders down. Now open your hands about as wide as your legs. And then imagine holding a ball, and you're going to twist that ball over to one side and come through center and go the other way. And twist. So keep that same distance between your hands. One more each way. Now come center. Open your arms wide. Get them in line with your shoulders. Turn so your palms are down. We're going to do the same thing. Let your arms reach really tall. No, long. Sit tall. Twist to the left. I might hit the wall. And then twist to the right. I backed myself into a quarter. And then twist. Twist. This time when you twist to the left, I want you to pause. And then come through center and twist to the right and pause. Back to the middle. Bring your arms down, bring your legs together. And we're going to round forward over our legs. Let your arms reach along your legs. Hold on wherever your hands land. And just get a nice big stretch for your spine here. You can use your arms to pull yourself closer to your legs. Just please don't bounce.
Take a big breath in. Exhale, maybe get a little lower, get a little longer. Let your head be heavy. And release where you're holding. Bring your hands to the mat and roll yourself up, sitting up nice and tall. All right, we're going to repeat that twisting sequence that we did at the beginning. So I want you to bend your right leg, cross it over the left. Let your left arm reach around. Get the knee to the bend of the elbow. Lift tall and twist. So nice spine twist here. Look back over your right shoulder. Untwist, come to the center, and then we're going to switch. Take the left leg, bend it, cross it over, wrap, lift, and then rotate. A nice stretch into the hip. Lift up really tall. Back to center. All right, now we're going to cross our legs. If this bothers your knees or hips, you can diamond your legs like this. I'm going to try the cross because I think, yeah, hips kind of need that sometimes. If it doesn't hurt your knees and it's just translating as a stretch, maybe try it. See where you go. Okay, so this is a side bend. It's not a rotation. We're going to put one hand on the mat and raise the opposite arm. As we side bend, push that opposite hip down into the mat. So don't let your hip raise off the mat. And just side bend, get bend for your spine. Lift up tall, bring it down. We're going to go to that side again. So we raise the arm up, first lengthen, and then side bend. So I'm letting my right arm bend the elbow, lift up tall, and then we'll place the opposite arm down, raise, side bend over. Again, trying not to raise that opposite hip off the mat. And then lift and bring it down. We got one more. Lift, side bend. And raise. Bring it back down. Now we're going to switch the cross of our legs. Put the other one in front. And here we go again. First arm is down. Second arm lifts. Side bend. Press that hip into the mat. Lift. And one more. One more on this side. And then switch. Arm up first. Side bend second. Hip stays down. Last time. Bend over. And lift. Back down. Sit tall. Roll the shoulders. Okay, guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope I see you next week.